Welcome back to Battleground 21. Oh, wow. I'm ready to go. You guys ready to go for the war room?
Yeah,
Ready.
let's go.
War room.
Yeah.
War room.
War room.
Let's get it on. Should Sega develop another console?
No!
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 No, no.
That was my
no.
first thought before when you said Sega. It was no. Because it failed so many times in the past. And
Sega fell in the past?
Well-
The Dreamcast. That's still pretty much that's the only failure. And it wasn't so much of a failure as it just
Sonic was their biggest.
they had really good games on it though. You gotta remember Marvel vs. Capcom 2 came out on the Dreamcast.
Absolutely. And I mean, Sega make great games.
But that's the thing. They make great games. They can't support their own console though. Of course, Nintendo can do it because Nintendo's got bukus and bukus of cash. But Sega can't. If their hardware fails, then the system or the company at this point will go bankrupt.
What gets me about the whole thing is what killed Sega was third-party support, right?
Right.
And that's what happened to Nintendo with the GameCube.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though.
I mean-
Nintendo has a backup system. You have to understand,
That's right.
everything that Nintendo sells is pure profit. They're like the only company who can do it. And also they have the portable market on lockdown.
Lockdown.
That,
Yes,
and that is giving them awesome amounts of cash. They have enough cash to support a system from now until like 2010, just on probably the money they got right now.
I'm gonna say Sega doesn't need to make one right this minute. I'd say let them keep third party for 5-10 years, maybe not that long, just a little while so they can build up money. I think they should take another crack at a system.
But
Future, do you really believe that someone is gonna back up Sega when it did flop?
if they make great games, they make game support. I mean, I don't know.
They didn't do that horribly with their first few
I
systems.
mean, no, they didn't. It's just that now.
Now there's more. Now there's more.
It is a third party. Do you think that someone is actually gonna, help them, try to develop another console?
They don't need really help to create another console. I mean, they've done it before. They know what they're doing.
I think maybe down the road they could. Whether they should or not, I don't know in the future.
Right.
I'm just saying right now they shouldn't. Down the road they might be able to, because one of the huge reasons that the Dreamcast failed was bad marketing.
Yeah.
Over in Japan, Dreamcast lasted up until literally about 2 years ago, whereas it died over here in about 2000, right?
Yeah, it didn't do very well.
But that's because they focused a lot of their marketing to other places, and they spent too much cash in all the wrong places. If they had kept a smaller marketing base and marketed it in the right places where they know that they should have had some stuff, then they would have had a successful. They would have a successful console. We wouldn't be having this discussion right now.
What I would like is Sega to do something like make a handheld. Is that crazy for me to think?
Yeah, because they made the Game Gear, and
that was
horrible.
It was way too big. It wasn't it the first.
It was the first backlit.
Yeah, it was the first. Was it the first colored one?
First backlit, first colored, and it had like 16-bit graphics.
It was way too ahead of its time.
Okay, I remember the Game Gear, but I mean with technology now, don't you think
They can do something. The thing isn't about they shouldn't. It's because they can't at the moment. They don't have the money or the financial backing to make a system. If they did, and if they just sold even a little badly, they would go under, and I don't think they'd be able to recover.
One of the reasons also that Sega got pretty big back when it did was because we were in a one console market. Nintendo had the monopoly on video gaming. So they came in and it was a fresh breath, and because it was that, they got more support. Now later down the road, if the big three has gone to one and like two have completely fluttered out, then Sega should step up and try to give more competition. But the way it's looking now, they shouldn't put out one now, and if things keep going the way they are, they should really stay third party. They're doing good as a third party.
What they should do, if they do plan to make another system, is first gather up their resources and also gather up their money. Maybe make a couple of games or hire some people from other companies or whatever to back them up. And in doing so, they could probably produce a good console or better games than the Xbox or the PS2.